Good morning, class. Today we will study the remaining part of chapter 1st from class 10th, Resources and Development. This is the chapter of Geography, first chapter. We will start from here, development of resources. The discriminate use of resources is self-suicidal and very deleterious for us. Therefore, I think I am also not seeing properly, has led to many problems. I am explaining you. It's mean the indiscriminate means to use too much or using like reckless. In Hindi, we can say andhadhund use of resources is suicidal, self-suicidal. Means we nowadays what we are doing, we are using the resources too much. Okay, and that is very dangerous for us. If we will continue use them like this, it will be self-suicidal that in future we are not able to get them again. So it's our responsibility to preserve them, to protect them. Okay, next, if we will do the same, it lead to the many problems. To meet the greed of few individuals, the resources will be depleted at a rapid speed. Means depleted is going to destroy, is going to finish. Means to meet the greed. Some people are very greedy, some people are very selfish. So cause of their selfness, so cause of their greediness, the resources are going very rapidly decreasing. Okay, the accumulations of resources in few hands would divide the society into the rich and the poor, which would be quite unjust and dangerous for the harmonious development of the society. Cause of the resources actually in our society. First, accumulation means we can say the collection. Okay, the collection of resources. Actually, the collection of resources also divided, and most of the part in the person who have the most of the part have are rich, and the remainings are poor in. And that is also very dangerous for the society, the development of the society. Indiscriminate use of resources would lead to global crises such as depletion of ozone layer, pollution of the environment, land degradation, and global warming. Indiscrimination use of resources. If we will use them with the same pattern, if we will too much use them, if we will too much harm them, one day will come means we are unable to find them. Okay, and these types of problems, crisis, what is the global crisis? Crisis means danger, troubles. The global trouble come such as depletion of ozone layer. As nowadays we know the ozone layer is, what about the ozone layer? The ozone layer, there is the hole in the ozone layer, and because of that ozone layer, the whole of the ozone layer, the ultraviolet rays, a very harmful rays, is coming from the sun, and which is creating skin problems and on the earth, in the people, in the humans. Pollution of the environment. Okay, too much pollution is there. Many types of pollution you have studied. Too much pollution is there in the environment. And land degradation, the productivity, okay, the fertility of the land is also we can say it's decreasing. Global warming, too much heat is there, too much gases is there, carbon gases is there. A fair distribution of resources therefore is essential for a sustained quality of life and global peace. A fair distribution, it is very necessary that there should be a equal distribution resources, there will be a equal use of resources, so that there will be the quality of life and global of peace. That is very essential for us. This can be achieved through proper planning, and these all can be do by a proper planning. Through a proper planning, for completing this, we need to make a proper plan and follow them, and make people to follow them. Okay. The next point is sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment, and development in the present should not comprise with the needs of the future generation. It's mean, first I want to tell you class, if you are not seeing on the screen properly, if you are unable to see the words which is shown on the screen properly, actually I have this photo, so I am explaining. You can write down and you can ask me in further class, in the new class. Okay. Here we are talking about sustainable economic development. Means we can make development, we can use the resources, but without any types of damaging in the environment. Okay, and should not compromise with the needs of the future generation. We will have to use the resources in a limit. If we will not use the resources in a proper limit, in upcoming future generation, the resources will be end. There will be no resources, and we will have to also find out the another option or another, we can say, the substitute of the resource, so that we can save these resources more and more. The concept of sustainable development was first formulated in June 1992 at the first United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This first concept was formulated in June 1992 in the first conference of UNCED, which was held in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. This summit supported the global forest principles and adopted Agenda 21st century. In this summit, all countries were satisfied, were agreed, and also supported the global forest principles and adopt Agenda of 21st century. The objectives of Agenda 21 are: what is the aim? Is this to eliminate poverty, to remove the poverty, hunger, sickness, illiteracy, and reduce deteriorations of the environment. Deteriorations means, we can say, depressed, and we can say decay. D-E-C-A-Y. Decay means, we can say, decompose and destroy. The same word we can say, क्षय, ह्रास, खराब कर देना, बिगाड़ देना, okay, of the environment. Next, why is resources planning essential? What is the reason behind the planning? Why we have need to plan? Let's see. Resource planning is quite necessary because of the following reason. The reasons are given below. First, as the resources are limited, so their planning is quite necessary, so that we can use them properly and at the same time save them for our coming generation. I think I have no need to explain this in the I have also told you many times. I have told you that why we have to save them, because these all resources are limited and it's our duty to save them, and if we will not save them, our coming generation will not utilize them. Next point, resources are not only limited but they are also unevenly distributed over the different parts of the country. This is the point where you have need to concentrate. Means the resources are not placed equally on the earth or in a country. Okay, they are distributed unevenly. They are not found on every places. They found on a particular places. They are regions which are rich in certain resources but deficient in some. Some of the places they found in a rich or in a huge amount, but in some places they have very low. Okay, they are not finding more and more. So this is the reason where we will have to work. We will have to work. And but deficient in some places. Deficient we can say the small SMALL, small, or lacking, or scant, SCANT, scant. I have told you in the class 9th also, scanty, alp, come. Okay, let's see next page. But for the balanced development of the country, the planning of these resources become quite essential. It will be beneficial if our government will do a proper planning for maintaining all these resources. It will be quite essential, quite beneficial for us also. Resources planning is also necessary to save their over exploitation or unlawful exploitation by the unscrupulous elements of the society. Unscrupulous means shameless. Okay, so some elements, some shameless elements are there in our society. Okay, who over exploitation, who use or who destroy the resources too much in our country. You can say many of the places people are unnecessary using the water. Okay, unnecessary using the water. If you will see in the Chennai, okay, underwater is not there till 2000 feet, but some places there are some shameless elements in our society who are destroying our elements or resources. Next, the cutting of trees by the greedy people, the selfish people. Okay, by them the trees has been cutted, or killing of rare animals by the unscrupulous hunters can play havoc with our valuable resources. Okay, so some shameless hunters are also there where the rare animals, some rare animals are there which has been killing or killed by these elements. So the planned development of resources is the need of the hour for every country, big or small. So it is very necessary for a country, either they will make a small or a big plan, or there is a big country or a small country, to maintain the development of resources. Okay, next, resource planning in India. What India is doing on this part? Let's see. Resources planning means identification and quantification of the available resources along with their development. What is the reason of planning? Planning means to identify how much resources, how many types of resources are there, how many types of resources are there, and quantification means how much, okay, how much, how many types and how much resources are there. Resource planning should match with national development goals. To what are our development goals? To reach there, we have to maintain the resources planning, because the economy of a country also depend on the resources available in this country. The development of a country also depend on the availability and uses of the available resources in that country. In India, the resources are vast, but their development is insufficient or they are distributed unevenly. Some examples are as follows. In India, resources are huge, vast, we can say Bisal, huge, okay, but their development is insufficient. There is no proper development, and one reason is also there because they are distributed unevenly on the place. Let's see first. A state like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh are rich in coals and minerals but lack of technology and industrial support. In India, if we will talk about the India, we have huge resources, but we do not have the technology to use these types of minerals, metals, resources properly. This is our big point. Here they also write, but lack of technology, the institutional support and institutional support. They do not have also the support so they can be developed. Next, Arunachal Pradesh has abundant water resources but lack of in infrastructure development. Andhra Pradesh had abundant water resources. With the help of water resources, we can do many things. We can generate the electricity. We can irrigation the field more and more. But we do not have the technology to use them properly. Rajasthan is well, I'm also unable to see the meanings, endued with wind and solar energy but lack of water resources. But lacks water resources. In Rajasthan, okay, Rajasthan have wind energy, solar energy, they have, but there is no water resources. But we can use the solar energy and wind energy also. We can also use them. Next, some states like Punjab, Haryana have a poor resources base, but they are economically developed. You can see Green Revolution is successful in Punjab, Haryana. Okay, fine. But here they can say they do not have proper resources. Besides this, but they are economically developed. The cold desert of Ladakh lacks natural resources, although it has rich cultural heritage. Cold desert in Ladakh, they have natural resources. They have lacks of, sorry, they do not have proper natural resources, but they have a rich cultural heritage. Enrich yourself. First point we have studied, second, third. So these 3 points you will learn. Next, process of resource planning. How we can make a plan. Let's see. The process of resource planning involves following: identification and inventory of resources across the regions, of the country. First, the word inventory. The word has been made with the help of invention. And you know the invention and discovery, identification and invention of resources across the region of the country. It should be the first plan. That involves surveying, mapping, in survey we can say counting, mapping, qualitative and qualitative estimation and measurement of the resources. Means which type of elements is there. We have to make a proper plan, proper counting, proper quality testing and proper measurement. Second point is planning of resources development using appropriate skill, technology and institutional setup. To make a proper plan, we have to do a proper technology should be there, institutional setup should be there, and we have a fresh mind, fresh skill that we can do a planning. Matching the resource development plans with overall national development plans. What is our national development plans? What is the object? What is the motto? We should try to match them. India is following the policy of resource planning from the very first 5-year plan rightly after the independence. When we got the independence, we are continue working on the resources planning. 5 years plan. In our 5 years plan after independence, the one topic also regarding resources. The availability of resources also alone cannot begin the process of development. Necessary technology and institutional setup are also required. Only availability of resources cannot begin. Okay, we have the book. For example, I am teaching you first chapter, resources and development. You have the book, and only you have the book is not all the things. You have to understand it. You have to make a plan. That in how many days you will complete it, how you will start a chapter, how you will learn that chapter. First you will read all the chapter first of all, okay? Then you will find out the hard word also, where you finding the problems. You will try to understand it and I will also help you. So only you have the book is not all the things. Same things, they have the, what they have said, the resources. If you have the availability of resources, if there is so much resources in a country but they do not have the technology, if they do not know how to use them, then it's useless. A process of development, necessary technology and institutional setup should be also required. Now, resources and colonization. Colonization means settlement. You can write down. Colonization means settlement. SETTLEMENT. Or rich natural resources of colonies were the main attractions for foreign invaders. When the invaders came into India, invader means, what is the means of invader? Invader, the synonyms of invader is attacker, attacker, okay? ATTACKER. When the foreign attacker came in India, mainly they were concentrating, and the main attraction of the attack is rich natural resources. Technological development of the colonizing countries helped them to exploit the resources of the colonized region. Technological development. When the development was started in section or in the part of resources, the countries help them to exploit resources where the colonized region were there. India has learned from her past experience. Here I want to tell you again the technological development of the colonized countries. The countries which were developed the technology helped them, the invaders, to exploit the resources, to exploit the resources of the settled region. Okay, India has learned from her past experience that development in general and resources development in particular does not only involve the availability of resources but also the technology quality of human resources and historical experience of the people. In India, people learn about the availability of resources is not all, but we also needed the technology, the quality of human resources also. If we do not have the skill, if we do not have the intelligence, then how we will use them? And also the experience of the pupil. So these 3 points, it's very necessary for this. What Gandhiji said, there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. Gandhiji said that there is enough, there is too much that everyone need. Okay, according to our needs, there is too much, enough, but we cannot satisfy anyone's greed. Okay, next, need of conserving our resources. What is the need of conserving them, protecting them, preserving them? There is a great need of conserving our renewable and non-renewable resources. It's very necessary. It's a great need to conserve them. No doubt that land, water, plants, etc. are renewable resources and can therefore be used over and over again for the satisfaction of human need. We know that we can utilize them again and again and again because these are renewable resources like land, water, plants. Land we can use again and again, water we can use again and again, and plants we can use to satisfy our needs. But there is a limit of everything. But we know we can use things, but there is also a limit. If they are used unwisely and limitlessly, there can be a lot of problems. We will not use wisely. This is the antonyms of wisely, unwisely, and limitlessly. Okay, if we will not do, if we will not use them in a limit, it will create a problem. Not only it will lead to their depletions, but also the natural equilibrium will be disturbed. Means if we will not use it properly, the depletion it will be going to finish, and also but also the natural the balance also be disturbed. The balance of the nature is also will be disturbed. The great demand of land for construction of house and industries may toll heavy on the valuable cultivated land or may lead to deforestation, because nowadays the population is going increasing day by day and people need to place to live, and because of this they are also demanding for the more and more place. For this they are using cultivated land for making their house, for industries, and they also lead to deforestation. They are cutting the tree, they are destroying the forest also. But such a thing would lead to a food storage, but such a things would lead to food storage in upcoming time, what will happen? It will what happened? People will start storing the food. Deforestation or indiscriminate cutting of trees lead to floods, soil erosion, and settling up of the river channels. What is happening? Silting up over the of the river channels. What is going? We are deforestation, cause of deforestation and discrimination cutting of the trees. It lead to the floods because floods can be controlled by the plantation, and if people cut the tree, floods will be there. It lead to the floods. It lead to the floods. Soil erosion will be there. Soil erosion means the fertility will be decreased, and silting up of means dirty things. Silting means we can say the dirty things will be there. Okay, will be uh, freeze there in a river channel. So are the things. These are the things. Because of this, we need of conserving our resources. Okay, I think mostly we have completed. Now the remaining points. There is greater need of conserving our non-renewable resources like minerals. For first, second, third point, I will explain you in the next period. Okay, in the next video. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box. Okay, and you will read it again and again. You will write hard words. Okay, thank you.